there. Just got out of a crystal healing session with an amazing practitioner. For those of you in my area, Jamie Steadman of Reviving Roots in Fort Atkinson, and got some downloads that it was made clear to me that I needed to share. And I've been working on my throat chakra, so recording this video I think is important, not only for those who this resonates with, but for myself as well, to share it. So yeah, a couple big things came through. One, I'm just noticing, and it shouldn't be a shock, that a lot of people are really struggling right now, and I myself have struggled recently. I have shared in past videos, past posts, that I suffered, that I experienced a concussion, which led to some depression mixed with, some other things going on, and it's taken longer to kind of like crawl out of it, so to speak, than I expected. But I also see the lessons in it. It's forcing me to unbury, let go of any old resentments, any buried emotions. Our society, and sometimes our families and work, or wherever it might be, has a way of expecting us to suppress our emotions and to make them unwelcome. And if we want a free, loving, abundant society, that has to stop. So in that vein, I did reach out and get a lot of support this week, which I'm super grateful for. I did have some experiences where I did not feel supported. And two things with that. There are just some people in our lives that it's not in their capacity, and maybe that's not who we go to when we're in need, for various reasons. And we really need to ask for help if we need it. I was caught up a little bit in a story of, I don't have any support, and I'm never going to come out of this thing that I've been going through, even though I can, and I'm now in a more stable place. I can see the spiraling upwards. It's sometimes like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And what I'm really, I think, being called to understand is acceptance, like accepting what is. This is a challenging time for a lot of people, and the best I can do is go through it consciously and with grace. So I guess in the end, my point is, if someone isn't supportive, find someone who is. And if you are feeling alone, please ask for help. That being said, if you have the capacity, please reach out to your friends and family, maybe that you haven't heard from, or maybe someone who's a little more on the stoic side, and you could ask them really how they're doing and if they need support. I know when I was, been going through my stuff, like, just for somebody to ask what they can do to show me that they care, like, that meant so much to me. Just that someone cared enough to ask or made the time for me. And you may be in a situation where you need that support. You may be in a situation where you have some to give, or you could be a combination of both. But I will tell you, once I got my support, it was a call to action for me to go out and reach out to people I haven't talked to or know that have been going through hard times. And we were both blessed by that. Speaking of weird times, as we go through this upheaval in our society, have a few things to keep in mind that have been helpful for me, and I try to go back to when I get off kilter. One is we are ascending. Consciousness is ascending on some level, probably in everyone, but our fears, and those of those in power are tightening their grip. And when we tighten our grip, things come out sideways. And there are a lot of ways for you that you can do to feel more steady, to kind of let go of the control in yourself, and therefore find some freedom and not let yourself be controlled so much by this fear. And but for the past 5 years, no matter what party has been in office, there's a lot of control and authoritarianism coming down, and you're seeing it across the world. There's a lot of things going on that just we know aren't right, a lot of violence. I was moved by Tina Louise Spalding's video this morning. She was very upset about the slaughter of 300 ostrich in Canada. Essentially, the government came in the night and slaughtered them. These were ostrich that did have like a bird flu of something like a year ago, but were fully healthy now. And it caused great, not only financial damage to this ostrich farm, but this is a family that loved these animals and cared for them, and they need our love and support for what they've been through. But it's just an example of where fear has really gotten the best of us. Like, we all get flus, right? Should we be slaughtered when we get the flu? And I know that sounds like an extreme leap, but we've been taught, especially over the last 5 years and longer, to fear each other. Don't go near that person because they might be sick. So there's a lot of craziness in the world that doesn't make a lot of sense. And I just encourage you to really start questioning it, because the grip is tightening by the controllers, by those in power. But they can only continue to have control if we let them. So I really encourage you to do a few things. One, make your own decisions. Really question what you're seeing in the public narratives, no matter where they're coming from, and listening to your own intuition for what is right. Also really encourage you to shut off and not watch anything that is violent. I made the decision recently, and this is, me, like, cleaning up my consciousness has been an evolution, and I really don't watch violent things anymore. A lot of dramas I don't even watch. I really try to watch comedies, but one of my weak points is mysteries, and often some of the best mystery shows are murder mysteries. But I've been watching the show Castle lately, which isn't really that gruesome. It's kind of funny and cute and sweet, but it's still murder. It's still murder coming into my consciousness. And if we keep exposing ourselves to this violence, this murder, this idea of harm, we're just inviting to either, I don't want to say we're inviting it into our lives, happening to us. Like, if something happens to you, I'm not saying it's your fault, but I'm saying we will continue to see it at the very least pictured in the world. But when we clean up our own consciousness and choose to see the beauty, choose to see the light, choose to see the good, your world starts to change around you. It just doesn't come into your frequency. And it doesn't, I know that we often feel a responsibility for what is going on out there with good reason, but we can only what's right in front of us. So, for example, there's been a great call for food going to local food drives. And that's where I felt called to help out with what's going on, because with, the SNAP benefits in jeopardy, and the services being cut off due to the shutdown because our politicians don't want to compromise one bit. There are a lot of people suffering. So what can you do right now to help someone in your own community? And that will make a huge difference. You'll feel better. Other people will be helped, and they'll feel better because they feel supported. So we really need each other right now to show up with love and compassion. Whoopsie. And if you can find it in your heart, I just encourage you to do that. And if you're having trouble finding that compassion, don't beat yourself up. But I do encourage you to inquire within and maybe get some help to come back to that homeostasis of balance and an open heart. So I guess that's all I got. Those were literal downloads that came through in my session today. So just sharing love and blessings to you, and with an open heart. I thank you.